Hi, this is Michael Haire. I am a Master's of Public Administration candidate at the College of Charleston here in South Carolina, and this is my presentation for my final Capstone portfolio. When I enrolled in the Master's of Public Administration program here, I was not operating a public service role, so I was more there to learn about public administration and open up doorways into a public service role for myself through my experience in the program. When I was in the program, I was most interested in urban regional planning. I was really interested in how positions of power and communication with the public can shape how public areas are formed. And that interest is how I framed a lot of my experience going forward. The first core competency of the MPA program is to lead and manage in the public interest. And I was able to get valuable practical experience that demonstrates competency in this core area through my public service roles class and through my hands-on internship. While the public sector roles course provided a lot of context behind the spirit of public service in my internship at the Charleston County Zoning and Planning Department, I was able to actually apply a lot of these concepts in a more live environment. It proved to be a good testing ground for concepts being learned in class. I was able to witness good public sector leadership and bad public sector leadership. I witnessed commission members vote for a rezoning that people were strongly against there. And it inspired me to focus on becoming an equitable planner willing to serve the community. The second competency is to participate in and contribute to the policy process. While I don't work in a role that deals with the policy process specifically, I believe several coursework artifacts display my proficiency in understanding the policy process. My land use law final project detailed the rezoning of an area in North Charleston, citing previous Supreme Court cases as precedent and outlining a mock ordinance bill. This really leaned heavily into a true understanding of the policy process and how precedent creates new policy. Additionally, I was able to do a budget analysis in my home county, and that allowed me to analyze the public policy process for the creation of county budget all the way from drafting to approval. I believe that I gained skills here that will allow me to participate in the local government's policy process. I think part of the heart of public service is wanting to serve your community and make it better. Everyone on some level is trying to do that. In order to effectively do that, I think public administrators have to be able to analyze data and come to a reasonable evidence-based conclusion. I was able to demonstrate this competency by working on two primary assignments, my research methods final presentation on linear regression and my IRS 990 analysis. This worked on two different kinds of data, one being financial data and one being raw data. The IRS 990 analysis was interesting. It displayed a financial data for a nonprofit organized to show their cash flow and spending priorities. I was able to look at this document and come to a reasonable conclusion as to how the organization should change their spending habits in the next few years, based on the trajectory in previous years. The linear regression project was also incredibly useful to me. I did my commute times in urban areas, and the skills gained will certainly help me in my future career, especially if I want to go into transportation planning or urban planning. It didn't contribute to a linear model, but it was still useful exercise. I think that in order to make these informed decisions, the public servant must have a well-articulated public service perspective. And mine focused on prioritizing people and individuals. My internship was very effective in helping shape my perspective on public service and how I want to navigate the conflict between market values and more service-oriented values. And it showed the effect that planners in positions of power have on the community around them and the need for public service perspective when dealing with these kinds of decisions. I've seen situations where I think that people were not prioritized over special interests, and I think that really made an impression on me, helped shape my public service perspective there. I also believe that people undervalue funding for the arts, as that is considered a service and can often get lost in the market-driven world, as expressed in my case study regarding public museum funding cuts and the decisions that have to be made when funding is tight. Lastly, through this program, I experienced how communication and cultural sensitivity play a part in public service, both in public-facing capacity and in the context of the workforce through interactions that I witnessed at my internship. Most urban areas have high levels of diversity in political views, race, economic needs and means, and more. As a public administrator, it's imperative that we focus on creating an environment that serves as many people as possible. We can do that by listening to the public and going out of our way to expose ourselves to other viewpoints. That means listening intently to the needs of the community in a culturally sensitive manner. One of the things I had to come to terms with is that there were a lot of hip new ideas that come with urban planning that aren't necessarily what a community needs. Often they just need to get the roads paved to get to work. Um, and I believe that swallowing your own ambitions and ego is necessary in the line of public service. I think this program has changed my view of public service and has given me a perspective that I can be proud to carry into a future career with experiences that will lead me to do my best in public service in order to improve the lives of everybody in the community by exercising the skills gained towards the 5 core MPA competencies.